Hi everyone, good afternoon. Basically, I represent the mobile networks business of Nokia, and we are headquartered out here in Texas, Irving, and 60% of the radios that we actually deploy out there are developed out here in Irving, Texas. And essentially, just go to the next slide here. Essentially, one of the things that we do is we cover pretty much all spectrums of communication infrastructure. So we're talking about copper, glass, and air. So that's fixed, optical, as well as wireless network. And I'm going to use my split sheet here because I tend to ramble. So we have a fairly long history of connecting people and through mobile networks, through infrastructure devices, as well as through home devices. But we go further out. We're now looking at connecting Internet of Things. That's connecting machines. So that's the next era in which we are innovating. Now, we also have a very rich innovation, very rich history of innovation as well. So when we look at, so in terms of the portfolio, we have over 10,000 patent families, or 30,000 different patents. And in terms of our innovation engine, we have pretty much reinforced our innovation engine with our recent acquisition of one of our competitors, Benson. And we now have Bell Labs within that innovation engine as well. So that's reinforcing our innovation engine, essentially, along with the Nokia technologies and our traditional innovation engines. So looking ahead, we're pretty much going to be shaping the future in three categories, three areas. We're going to be looking at the Internet of Things, and we're going to be enabling that. And we're also going to be looking at helping scale and improve the efficiency of the cloud network. And then finally, of course, we'll also be building new radio systems and infrastructure systems, new network architectures for the 5G next generation wireless radios as well. So that's pretty much where we are today and where we're going and some of the areas we're focusing on. Now let's talk a little bit about the innovation that we are looking at and the background behind that innovation and why that's pretty significant. Right? So this graph that you see here, this is a very common graph that we show to everybody in our industry. And basically what it's trying to show is the explosive growth of data. And what's interesting is that every year we readjust this graph. And we pretty much changed the slope of the trajectory. We pretty much increased the steep. And so now what we've done is we've actually got two models on that graph. We show a much leaner, a conservative model, and we also show a disruptive model. And the reason for this is because one of the previous assumptions, one of the things that we were getting wrong with the previous assumptions is undermining disruptive technologies. So the disruptive graph here simply shows that if one of the current early adopters were to become mainstream, what would that curve look like? So now this is kind of important because in the 90s and the early parts of this decade, we were looking at the era of consumer voice and consumer data and the rising mobile data associated with that. But what's interesting in the right-hand side of this graph is that we're beginning a new era, and that new era is the rise of machines. And that's a very exciting world where we're going to automate and instrument pretty much every part of your lives so that it's far more efficient than what you have today. Right? So what's the big deal about this? Well, the amount of energy required to fulfill this is phenomenal. So we're looking at a very high power hungry network, and it essentially means that mobile connectivity is no longer sustainable. So one of the things we're doing is to take advantage of the bursty nature of traffic in mobile networks. And essentially what you have is a very fast switching technology that we've invented, that Daryl's actually created. So essentially what it allows you to do is take advantage of those silent periods in the network and switch off the power amplifier and radio. And essentially what it means in terms of savings is about 30 kilowatt hour every month. And if you consider there are millions of base stations out there, that amounts to, for an average American household that consumes, middle class household, we're talking about 1,500 of those households based on the deployment that we have seen today. So it's been a big savings, and once again, thank you very much to the judges.